Hey YouTube, it's Sick Escape here, and in today's video I want to talk about finding fulfillment outside of a romantic relationship, because this is something I've currently been figuring out in my own life. Every video I've posted on this video and talk about on here, every topic, it's in regards to my current relationship ending and all the things I've been learning coming out of this relationship with this person. And one of the biggest things that I've just realized lately is that while I was in this relationship with this person, I really didn't actually have like a life outside of him. I wouldn't call it a codependent relationship because I still felt very independent within myself. Like I wasn't relying on him for my happiness or like to feel validated within myself or to feel pretty or to feel like, you know, not alone in life. But at the same time, I just wasn't really pouring my time into anything else outside of this relationship. I was just kind of like prioritize maxing on this relationship, and it just got to the point where I just really wasn't pouring into like my passions and my creativity, my hobbies, and just the things that I like to do by myself. I tried to. There were many times I would just try to, when I had my own space and time away from him, was to actually just go back to my house and work on like making YouTube videos, recording songs, like all the things that I like to do as a creative person, all the things that I'm working towards in my career. I tried to get back into the habit of doing those things, and it was just such a struggle while I was dating this person. And it's not because like he was, you know, purposefully pulling me away from all that stuff. He was actually encouraging me to keep up with it and keep posting on the internet, post on TikTok, post on YouTube, record songs. He wanted to help me make a song too because he can play guitar and I write lyrics and sing. It was a really healthy relationship all in all, but it just wasn't healthy in some important ways like that, like in terms of me just trying to get a start on my career, trying to make YouTube and music like my full-time thing, even though he was very, very much encouraging about it all and still is to this day. That's also a reason why we broke up anyways, was because we both knew that we were kind of just pulling each other away from our hobbies and like the things we like to do in our own time. We were also living together, which I know like just adds more fire to the flame. But obviously I moved out and I'm living back at home with my mom now. And I'm actually back on track with pursuing my creative hobbies and interests and passions and trying to make it into a career like I am with this YouTube channel, and just actually put a message out there that I know will resonate with other people going through the same thing as me. Maybe not at the same time, but if you are going through this at the same time, I'm so happy that you're watching this video, and I hope that my like words and my wisdom, my knowledge, everything that I've been realizing lately, I hope it connects with you. I hope it resonates with you. I am sorry if you're going through the pain of a heartbreak right now though, that you just lost a great person, but I believe it's all for the better because I'm already like feeling better about it now because like I said, I'm finally back in the swing of things in terms of getting my shit together and working on my life and trying to make my life look like how I want it to look. So we're gonna get further into this video, but right now I'm just gonna preface what the rest of this video is gonna look like. I'm about to curl my hair right now because I just did my makeup, because I don't know, this is the first video on this channel where I've actually worn a full face of makeup. One thing too coming out of this relationship that I've been trying to start doing more now is like getting ready for the day, like doing makeup and my hair and just trying to look all pretty and nice, because that actually does make me feel better. Not that like I feel ugly or disgusting or anything, it's just kind of like a self-care thing now. Like if I can just make myself feel cute and take some pictures in it, in my makeup and hair, it's kind of feeling like all is well within the world again, you know? But yeah, back to what I was saying before about us living together. Obviously that is definitely a struggle in its own with any relationship, but especially for someone like me who is just a naturally very creative person who requires a lot of alone time to create, which I know a lot of other creative people do resonate with that. Like that is just the thing with having so much creativity in you and just always having a creative idea and just needing to spend a lot of time by yourself so those ideas can come to you. Obviously it's not like the only way you get a creative spark is to just spend all your time alone, duh. Like you have to go out and experience things and places and people and travel and have your fun and make your mistakes. That also brings forth a lot of inspiration and creativity, right? However, me and this person didn't really even know each other for that long before we started living together. I've talked about that a little bit before on this channel. And it wasn't like a terrible thing to be living with him, but because I was living with a whole other person and I've never actually lived by myself officially before, like I feel like I kind of have lived by myself my whole life because it's just been me and my mom. But she's always been just like a busy woman working and coming home and not really have much time to spend with me after she's home from work. And I'm an only child, you know, so I don't have brothers or sisters, and I didn't have a lot of friends growing up. I had some friends, but they had really strict parents and weren't able to come over and hang out with me all the time. So I kind of spent like a whole 21 years pretty much by myself. And I've only really recently gotten into like dating and like having friends to actually do stuff with within like the last 2 years of my life, from like 19 to 21. And it's been a really fun time. It really has. I don't regret anything. But since both of us hadn't really lived by ourselves for the first times ever, he had just bought a new apartment for himself a couple months prior to me moving in with him. I think maybe like 1 or 2 months before we got together. So he really hadn't even had the time himself to live on his own, and I never really fully did because I don't have my own apartment yet still, which I really want to get soon. But things just got pretty hectic in my life, specifically with me and my mom, and he kind of just offered his place for me to stay. And so I just went ahead and moved all my stuff in, and it was a fun experience living with him. But that is when we realized that us being together, we just want to be together and we don't really want to work on the things that we know that we want to work on, like alone. And I think it's really important in any relationship, especially for a creative person, to have that much alone time, to have enough alone time to where you know that being in a relationship isn't going to disrupt that. That's something that I'm learning coming out of this. And I think that's specifically where like my fulfillment just got so messed up for me. And what I think truly enabled this relationship becoming my #1 source of fulfillment was the fact that, like I said, within the last couple years, I had finally just started getting into relationships and friendships and like spending a lot more time with people outside of the house and not just by myself all the time, because he was actually my first real relationship. I've had like other relationships in the past, but we didn't really do stuff, you know, we just said that we're boyfriend and girlfriend and wouldn't really hang out much. But you know, this man, I was completely living with him, like we did everything together pretty much. And it was really nice. It was a really fun time in my life. I don't regret it at all, anything that ever happened between me and him, good or bad. And it really wasn't a lot of bad, but I mean, since breaking up, we've kind of like been in contact and just kind of seen each other too often, which like I know isn't really the best for us since we both are trying to move on now. But I really don't regret, you know, having that experience and having this time in my life to just be able to love somebody and like learn so much from them while in love, and now having so much to learn from like being broken up with them. And yeah, because he was like my first real relationship where I was actually like living a whole life with him, I do think that's probably why he became my #1 source of fulfillment, which is really crazy for me to even say that and like believe that that happened, because I always felt like I was just like such a man-hater of a girl. Even though I don't have a lot of like relationship experience, I feel like I've just met a lot of bad guys out there who would have been bad boyfriends and talked to them for a little bit. And after like meeting so many of those dudes, like I just really got pissed off with the whole species of men for like a really long time. And I was always just like, girl, like fuck him, like focus on your girlfriends and just focus on your career and stuff like that. I wasn't even really focusing on my career during that time though, or during those times, or while I was in a relationship with somebody. I know it's terrible, but I don't know, I just always felt like on the inside that's the kind of person I was, and to actually see it play out in real time that I wasn't being that person that I thought I was really mind-blowing. And I feel like, for me at least, when like something romantic in my life ends, it usually is like this sort of realization that I was behaving as in a certain way or as a certain type of person that I didn't think that I was. I was doing things that I didn't think I'd ever do. Like this isn't the first, this really isn't the first time I've had a similar feeling to this after like a relationship ending with a guy before. Like the last guy I like dated, I broke up with him because I had feelings for some other guy that I met, and it made me want to break up with him because I knew I didn't want to cheat on him because I still liked the guy I was dating, and I never thought that I was the cheating type, and I still don't think I am. I just realized over time, obviously, I just realized that like, oh, I just felt that way because the guy I was dating at the time, you know, I wasn't really like in love with him. If I was thinking of being with someone else and I broke up with him because I wanted to be with someone else, ow, I just burnt myself. Oh my God. But yeah, for like a little bit, I was really questioning myself, like, am I the non-committal type? But that's not true. I am the committal type. It just obviously comes down to like, is this the person worth committing to and stuff like that? Do you actually like this person? Blah, 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 you know. But when you're young and you don't know anything, you think you know everything and you think that you have commitment issues. When you don't, you just, maybe you just commit too fast. Maybe that's the thing, because with that relationship, that was also like a fast-moving relationship. We just did things and said things too fast with each other and should have taken our time in that relationship too. And that relationship was in high school and I was 17, 4 years ago. And 4 years later, I feel like I'm just still kind of learning the same lesson with that, because I did rush into this relationship with this person. Because like I said, we like moved in so fast and we didn't really know each other for that long. But honestly, like other than that, majority of the relationship was still pretty healthy and very much adult, because we are both adults here. And I felt like, and also I feel like that's why our breakup happened, because we're being very adult and just having mature conversations. We always had mature conversations about everything while we were together, which is really nice to experience. And although obviously the breakup hurt and like I wasn't expecting it to come to an end so soon, I do understand that we did break up for mature reasons. One of them being the fact that, yeah, we are just kind of taking each other away from our passions in life and leading each other down roads in life that we don't really want to go on. Specifically with me wanting to live such a creative lifestyle and, you know, be in the public eye, be seen online. Like, I make YouTube videos, I make music, I post on TikTok and Instagram regularly. I like being seen online. I do want to be famous one day. And it's not really just to be famous anymore. It was for a long time. I did want to be famous just to be famous. But now I just feel like I've been having so many epiphanies and realizing that I just want to actually help people out in the world, and I want to reach like literally like millions of people. And if I can, or if I can even like reach like just a few people, like a few hundred people on this channel over like the next couple months, and just share my stories with you guys and what I've learned from them, what I've been learning from this heartbreak, I would really love that like it would actually touch somebody and resonate with someone, just make you feel less alone, because I've been feeling very alone in this breakup process. And I feel like it'd just be so nice to like hear somebody like say the things that I feel like I need to hear right now. And I hope that I'm being that for somebody who's watching this right now. And I have been learning that fulfillment outside of a relationship is really everything for me, because I truly kind of forgot just how important following this creative path in life is for me. This is also a lesson too that I've had to keep learning throughout my life continuously. And I feel like I've kind of just spent my whole life trying to figure out how to put myself out there, trying to figure out how to be comfortable with putting myself online, because that was quite a like paradoxing thing for me too for so long, was that yes, I want to be seen online, I want to be seen in real life, I want like worldwide success, but I'm just too scared to post myself. I'm too scared to record a song and put it on the internet. I'm too scared to make a video and just actually talk to the camera. When I first started doing TikTok, like at 19, I didn't want to make talking videos. I wanted to make videos where like I just put text on the screen, or I just like am making like makeup get ready with me or something, and I just put a cute little song over it. I didn't even want to talk on camera. And now this is like my 5th, 6th, whatever video on this account where I'm talking like for 40 minutes straight. Like, I know it's crazy, right? It's crazy. And it's not like I'm forcing myself to do this. It's just literally like I need some way to like get all my thoughts out. And I'm sorry, this is gross. And I feel like YouTube right now is like the way for me to actually just sit down, talk with myself, and make it feel like I'm talking to somebody else, hoping that you guys are on the other side listening. And I started off this year actually starting to post on YouTube. I had a whole other account where I was posting my music and the process behind how I make my songs and everything like that. And I was being very consistent with it, and I started posting on TikTok too, those same kinds of videos, like promoting my music and my YouTube channel and everything, and it was really fun. I was actually working on it every single day while I was working a job, and I would just come home after my job and work on a video, edit a video, work on a song, and put everything all together. And like I would dedicate like days that I'd upload everything and make sure that I upload at least one thing a week. I would post on TikTok, on YouTube Shorts, like actual YouTube videos, like everything. I was really grinding from January to March of this year, and by the end of March I had taken a little break because I knew I'd kind of overworked myself, and I was getting a little burnt out. And like that's normal, you know, when like you finally start dedicating yourself to your goals and working towards what you want in life, and you're actually being on top of it, yeah, you're gonna get a little tired, you're gonna get a little burnt out, you're gonna like need to take a break. However, like that break kind of carried over from April until like the whole summer up until like September. So April, May, June, July, August, I was really like, I actually stepped away from my life, from my passion, from my dream career, like from everything I was working towards. I was literally working every day to make sure I never actually had to like work a day in my life again. Not necessarily that like this is a job where you don't work in, but I just didn't want to work at the same job I was actually working at anymore. I didn't want to work in a restaurant anymore. I didn't want to have to get a 9-to-5 ever again. I just wanted to make sure that I could free myself from that way of living and that type of work that I just didn't want to do. And yeah, I was finally starting to be consistent with my goals in life. And then over the summer, I had just kind of gotten a little carried away, and that was before me and my ex even got together. But we did get together around the end of June, and we were together from that time until August. And you know, obviously I just got more carried away with life in terms of being on my shit, and after a certain point in time, you know, it was the relationship that was really pretty much all to blame for that. Not saying like it was his fault in any way, it was really my fault because I just, for one, I should have taken that relationship a lot slower. Two, we should have talked about what we wanted in the future in our lives a lot more before actually deciding to date, and just so many other things, you know, that could have been avoided, could have been talked about and everything. But I definitely should have made sure that working on my goals is like the #1 deal breaker in the relationship, that I need to have as much time as possible to dedicate towards being on my shit. And when you're doing like so many different creative projects all at once, like making videos, recording songs, writing songs, and then you have to compose the song together all by yourself because you don't have a producer or anyone else that works on your music with you. Same thing with your videos, you don't have an editor or anyone else that's working with you or a manager or anything, and you're doing all your own like promo for all of it across all the different social media platforms. This thing keeps coming up, I'm so sorry, it's so gross. But yeah, when you are just like the only person working on like your whole brand all by yourself all the time, that takes a lot of time out of someone's day, someone's week. So it's like, in reality, I don't really have a lot of time for a relationship anyways. So, you know, going forward, when it comes time for me to actually be in a relationship again, I'm really gonna have to learn how to balance that so much better, and like let that person know that I'm just not gonna be available for them all the time, like how I just was with this other person. And that's a good thing. Like, I mean, in any relationship, you don't need to be available for someone like that 24/7. Obviously, you need to have like your own life and things you do outside of them and things you do outside of that relationship anyways. Like I said, like I knew that going into it, but I just didn't behave like I knew that. And it's really like shocking when you realize you were just behaving as a person that you just didn't think that you would behave as. And now you see that like coming out of the relationship, like I said, I've been posting on this account for like about a month now, over a month now, almost like a month and a half. I've been having a weekly upload on this channel, and I've actually like record a video every single week. I've actually recorded like probably like 4 videos now that like I need to edit and upload, and it's actually crazy because I didn't think I'd like really immediately jump into my creativity as this breakup was happening, because I just, you know, like the first 4 days of the breakup, I was really depressed, just like stuck in my room. I couldn't move, I couldn't get up. I was just crying. I've been crying so much. I was crying earlier today and yesterday, and it's already been like a month and a half since we've broken up. And, you know, I just feel like the tears should have stopped by now, but it's okay, it's whatever. Like, crying is crying. I let myself cry. Like, I'm not mean to myself about that. But at the same time, like whether I'm crying or I'm having a good day, I'm still here like working on the things that I want to work on, working on my career, working on making this something tangible and actually following my dreams. And so I am really grateful that this breakup has set me free in order to do so, so that way I can actually remember just how much I want this and remember to never again like let a relationship really like get in the way of that. I'm not saying that like, you know, he was like in the way, but like he was in the way, and I know he wasn't trying to be and I wasn't wanting him to be. I never wanted to abandon my dream for a man, obviously, but I almost ended up doing that. And while we were together, like I even almost ended up doing something completely different just to make money, but it kind of was leading in a way that was also taking away from me following this dream still. And I know I would have never forgiven myself if I was actually gonna be able to go through with that. Like if this breakup didn't happen and I was actually going down a path I didn't want to go down, I would never ever forgive myself for abandoning my dream like that just because I'm in a relationship. And because I spent so many months not focusing on this in my life, not making this like my number one priority, I really did forget how much fun I have just by myself working on a video, recording a video, making a song, all of that. Like it was actually really fun. I know I did get burnt out earlier in the year from it because I kind of was going too hard. I was working on this stuff every single day. Like I spent like every like off day from my job or all my free time from coming home from my job to like immediately like opening up GarageBand and opening up CapCut and just getting to work. And I am really proud of myself for doing that. And it was like fun coming home and like immediately getting on it. But it did actually become overkill at some point and I did need the break. And nowadays I actually do take it a lot slower. I spread it out through the week and I don't spend like an entire day just like going crazy on this stuff so that I don't actually go crazy on this stuff, you know what I mean? And it's been actually really nice and calming and super peaceful now, and it just feels right now, and I actually feel the intention behind it that I am actually here to help others and I can serve you guys in a way that like you understand what I'm saying, and I'm, you know, connecting with you on a real level now because I'm hurting and I know there's so many other people in the world who are hurting and just need some advice or just somebody to talk to, somebody to listen to, and I feel like I can be that for you guys because I'm not a therapist. I don't have any license like that. I haven't written a book. I do write songs that I'm trying to put out there that could also help you guys with your feelings and things that you're going through in life and make you feel less alone. Obviously, like, you know, I'm working on that. Those are all works in progress right now, and I'm actually getting on it. Like, I'm not just saying, oh, I'm gonna get on it. No, like, I'm actually doing it now, and the proof is in the pudding, because like I said, I have a whole month's worth of video uploads on this channel now, which I am so happy about. And I'm also just so happy to have come to this revelation in my life that this breakup really did just set me free and remind me of like really like all the things I was missing while being with this person, which it sounds really sad to say because I don't think of him in a negative way really much, because we didn't really like hurt each other. The breakup was what hurt each other because we didn't want to break up, but we knew that it was just the best thing for us. And now I really am seeing it like how it's actually been the best thing for me, because imagine I was still with him and this whole channel wouldn't even exist. I would still not be working on any music or anything, and I would probably just, like I said, be going down a path that I didn't want to follow, working a job I probably don't want to do, making money in ways I don't want to make money, spending my life in a way I don't want to spend my life. And like not even just like when it comes to the career aspect of it all, but this has also just given me a lot to think about, like other things I want in my life, like the type of friends I want, the type of like hangouts I want to go do now. Like the past 2 years, like I feel like I've been really like living life kind of just like as a kid for once, because I felt like I spent my whole entire childhood trying to be an adult because I kind of had no other choice to, because I grew up with a single mom and I was kind of like a parent to myself in a way, because I was making a lot of big decisions for us too sometimes. And within the last couple of years of working a job, I've had to help her pay bills and everything, even though I've been trying to like save up to move out and get my own place someday. It was just, you know, a thing that was becoming harder and harder, and I felt like for so long I was just always focused on like working and making money and like trying to survive, that within the past 2 years from 19 to 21 I finally started to hang out with people and, like I said, like into a relationship. And the people I was hanging out with, they were fun, like they're my friends, I do like them, but I just know that they're like not my people, if you understand what I'm saying, like, because they're not into the things that I like to do. They don't make YouTube videos or music, and I've always wanted creative friends like that. I like just literally never had that, but now I feel like it's so much clearer to me how much I need that in life. Like, I want other people like that around me who will encourage me and support me on my journey and like actually understand like the work that you put into this, because they're also putting in the work too and like doing the same things as me. And it'd just be so nice to actually connect with people like that who actually do that, and like you're actually seeing results from their stuff that they're doing too. Because I've always looked up to people who do stuff like this anyways, because this is what I want to do in my life. And I'm tired of pretending and trying to fit in with everyone in my hometown that just goes to college and like becomes nurses and stuff like that. Like, I don't want my life to look like that. I never have. And I'm tired of just like, you know, closing myself off to those people when I'm around them and they ask me like what I'm gonna do with my life, and I just always say, look, oh, I don't know, or like I'm still figuring it out. And I'm not just figuring it out, like I know what I want to do. I just never took the action, took the step forward towards it, but now I am. And yeah, like the type of hangouts I would have with these people, like, you know, like I'd go to the bar with them, and it'd be like college bars with people who'd like, you know, just like dance and like get super drunk, and like sometimes, you know, go back to like some people's houses. And like that's just, for one, that's never really been me, but I did kind of partake in that activity over like the last year, and it was really fun. Nothing bad ever came from stuff like that, but I've just realized now that like that's just not how I want to spend like my free time anymore. I want to spend my free time doing more of my creative hobbies, obviously, outside of it just being like my career. Like, I want to go to jazz bars, I want to go to like open mic nights, I want to do stuff like that I've never done before. And we don't really have a lot of stuff like that here in my hometown, so it's kind of hard to do it right now. But I might be moving soon, and where I'm moving to, like, I know there's gonna be like a lot more of that stuff. So when that actually happens, it'll be really, really fun to be able to experience that. And I just want to be in more spaces where people that are like me are there, that work towards similar stuff that I'm working towards. You know, like people that are like in the film industry, music industry, content creation industry, like all of that. Like, those are the types of people I want to surround myself with, and those are the types of friendships I want to form. And I really want to be around people who really do lift me up and encourage me on stuff like this, and won't talk about me behind my back whenever like they watch my videos and stuff like that, because that's happened too in the last couple years. So yeah. And also, like, I've been thinking about like what I really do want the rest of my life to look like where I want to live, where I want to end up, you know, the type of friends I want to have, and like the type of husband I want to have. Like, if this man wasn't going to be my husband, now I feel like I have a clearer view on who my husband's going to be, like what I want him to have, and like his qualities and his personality and like what he does in life. And obviously, like, I'd want him to also like be doing something similar, be comfortable with being in the public eye, and just, you know, be comfortable with me being in the public eye, and like that just not be like a problem for us, you know, like not be a reason like why we need to separate or anything. And like, yeah, like the friendship thing too is really like, that's another way of like having fulfillment outside of your relationship, because in this relationship with this person, we had the same friends. One of those friends was literally my cousin, who's basically my brother, and his girlfriend, and they've been in the relationship for like 7 years now. They're literally engaged, so like I hang out with just them two like all the time. But then we had like other friends that we'd hang out with, and that's how I met him. So it was a whole friend group dynamic that we shared and still share and still try to make work to this day. But because I was with him and we'd hang out with our friends pretty regularly, that like when we broke up, I felt like I didn't really have any other friends to hang out with. I do have other friends outside of that friend group, but like they were like all busy at the time, so it's like I didn't really have time to hang out with them when we were breaking up. And I also just like didn't want to go see the mutual friends we had, because they all live like in the same neighborhood right now, so it's like that's a pretty hard thing for me to like, you know, deal with. So that's also why filming videos and talking to the camera is just so much easier for me right now, and just the type of fulfillment I'm looking for, and bring me the peace of mind that I need right now, and being the friend that I need. And because of my like childhood and everything, being an only child and growing up with a single mom and just having so much alone time, I've always been the type of person who is able to have fun by themselves. But you know, like obviously when you're sad and depressed and lonely, it's not the greatest time. So I am glad that I do have my creativity to fall back on, and that's what's actually been saving me. Like it's literally been saving me from this breakup. Like it's been saving me from all the pain. Like obviously the pain is like still there. I have my sad days, but like when I'm working on this, like it's kind of like everything else in my mind is quieted. Like all the problems kind of just go away, and I'm just here, and like I feel like I'm just vibrating at like the highest vibration, and I'm just like being my most truest authentic self, and just expressing myself creatively and like feeling the most free. And that's what I love so much about being a creative person, is just all the freedom that comes with it, and that you just get to express yourself creatively and bring all your ideas to life and just be such a cool fucking person. And it's not even about being a cool person, you're just being you, and it's cool. And when you realize how cool you are, that's like the coolest thing ever too, you know? And it's just something I never want to forget. I never want to forget this feeling. I never want to forget how fulfilled my creativity makes me feel. Like I never ever want to experience that feeling of like really like pushing it away completely just for like other people and experiences in life. Like okay, yeah, I was going through my first real relationship for the first time ever. Like okay, like girl, like whatever, like you can totally experience like an even more real relationship later in life, and like, you know, it'll come like whenever, like it'll come regardless. Like I don't need to, you know, stay up worrying about that anymore, because that's the thing. Before we got into a relationship, I had dealt with so many like guys that were just like talking stages and this didn't work out, and I just over time was like, damn, like when am I ever going to get into a relationship? And I know how young I am. I know I'm 21. Like I know that like love will have its time to find me, but I just got a little hopeless about it. And I don't think that like I got into a relationship with him just to be in a relationship with him, but I know that like while I was in the relationship, I was like, wow, this is really cool to experience. And then when we broke up, I was like, damn, like I just finally had it and now it's gone. But it's like, it's okay, like it will come back, and it probably just won't come back in that person. It'll probably come back, you know, in a better it'll come back in a better person, a person that is more aligned with me and meets more of my standards, all my standards actually, and you know, is really like the person for me, and I don't have to question anything. And it'll be even healthier than this one was, because this was healthy, but the next one will be a lot healthier because I'm a lot smarter now, and I will choose better now. I hope I choose better. I think I will choose better. Like I don't think I'm gonna be so reckless in life going forward now with anything I do, with my relationship, with my career, with my friends, with how I spend my free time. Like I just feel like I'm a lot more serious about stuff like that in my life right now, especially the fulfillment from my creativity right now. Like that is the number one thing right now. My career is my number one priority, and not even like working on this stuff in a career sense, it really does just bring me so much peace and like sense of purpose. So like even if like this doesn't really ever take off, which like I doubt that it won't take off, like I do think that I'm meant to like share a message like this with the world and reach tons of people. But just saying, like if it never really does take off super well, I know I'm never gonna regret this. I know I'm never gonna regret putting myself online and sharing what I create and just creating in general, because I've always just felt such a home in it. And if this does reach the people it needs to reach, then that'd just make me so much more happier. And like I do want it to reach a bunch of people, but I know that like that's all such a like thing that I can't control, except for just how consistent I am with it and just showing up every day and making sure that this is still the thing that I'm prioritizing over everything. And I hope that I continue to do so. I'm gonna make sure I continue to do so. So yeah, if you made it this far in this video, thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that my message does touch people out there who are going through similar things as I'm going through. And if you resonated with this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. Love ya. Bye. Mwah.